Welcome to G.O.D TV, G.O.D Boxing. We gonna get into this top 10 pound for pound list. I'm gonna wait for somebody to jump in the chat. I want to get everybody opinions on this pound for pound list. I want everybody to tell me who they got on their pound for pound list, who the top 10 right now in boxing based off of skill and performances. Right on for the like. I want to see everybody opinion on their top 10 pound for pound. And who do they have number one? I'm gonna make a poll on it. Number one. Making a poll right now. My guy, what it do? Happy holidays once again. Okay, so I just made a poll on who you think is number one pound for pound, which would be Canelo or Crawford. I want to know everybody else's opinions before I give mine. I know that you only in the building right now, but I'm pretty sure some more people go jump in and we can get it popping. For now, I can say who number 10 on my pound for pound, and I'm gonna say David Benavidez, and he should be on anybody pound for pound list, in my opinion. I like his hunger. I like that he ready to fight everybody, and he always give you a good performance and a entertaining performance. So David Benavidez definitely number 10 on my list. Okay, I see that Canelo got a vote. It say 100% Canelo. Okay. Can y'all drop in the comments why you feel like Canelo is pound for pound number one? Based off of this year alone, or let's say within the last 3 years. Let's just say that within the last 3 years, but this year is what topped it off. You know what I mean? Why do you feel like Canelo is pound for pound number one? Make sure you drop a like, subscribe. We always chop it up about boxing in here. Everybody can give their opinion. I don't mind if you disagree. I'm not kicking nobody out the room. I want everybody to tell me how they feel because I like the truth. I don't like to just go off of what I like. You know what I mean? But yeah, though. Tell me why Canelo pound for pound number one. Yeah, as I was saying, David Benavidez definitely number 10 on my pound for pound list. I think that he should be on anybody pound for pound list. I don't know if he is on the pound for pound, but he should be, in my opinion. He definitely should be. Holy shit. So I just made a TikTok for my fight night, and I didn't know it got so much views. I was whooping his ass too. I'm gonna have to post another one. I like that. But anyway, if you listening, I was asking Tell me why you feel like Canelo is pound for pound number one, you know, out of all the rest of the boxers. I was saying that David Benavidez is number 10 for me. So, do you agree that David Benavidez deserves to be number 10 on this list? I think Canelo is just at the top of his game. Went on a mission to become the man at 168. Triple G, Jacobs, Kovalev, Smith, BJS, Plant are the names in the last 3 years. What's your TikTok? Oh, let me see. The fight night TikTok is fight night 567. So it's just fight night 567. I'll write it in there. And my other one is G.O.D Productions. Those is my TikToks. And okay. I feel it and I only respect three of those names in that list. The other three I think was like, was very strategic in my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't think Billy Joe Saunders is a match for Canelo. I think we all knew who was going to win that. Even though he was doing a pretty good job, right on. Even though he was doing a pretty good job, boxing with Canelo, but we knew, come on, man. And then Smith, come on, another pushover fight. I understand he was getting the titles, but he could have did the same thing at 154, 160. You know what I mean? He had the opportunity to. And then Triple G, of course, I respect them fights because them was both good fights, good competitive fights. You know what I mean? Kovalev, for sure, respectable fight. Can't argue with that. But Plant knew he was defeated in the 11th round. Like, and the thing is, I don't think anybody's taken away from Canelo's talent. I think people like is saying Canelo is, the most talented in boxing, but we want to see him fight another talented person on that pound for pound or somebody you might have on your personal pound for pound. We want to see him fight them. You know what I mean? We don't want to see Canelo fight fucking people we don't fucking know about, Makuba and shit. Like, who is this guy? We want to see you fight Benavidez, Charlo, all these people who trying to prove that you're not number one is the people you should be taking out. Like I said, Julio Cesar Chavez, um, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, all these great Robert Duran, all these great boxers, people didn't remember them for being undisputed and all of that shit. People remember them for the fights that they took, for the great fights that they gave us, for the close fights. You know what I mean? That's what we want. We want close fights. We want scary fights. We want fights where we like, blood. What's going on? We don't want fights where we like, oh, he's dominating. Oh, like it's just a one-sided fight. It's boring. You know what I mean? That's my only thing. I don't like seeing one-sided fights. And I think that his approach is strategic sometimes. But when you're going up against somebody like Triple G, Kovalev, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can't say, when you're going up against them type of opponents, them the type of opponents we want to see you fight. To my whole point. A fight where you like, I don't know who winning, you know? But anyway, I'll go ahead and go on to my number 9 on the list. My number 9 is George Cambosos. I got George Cambosos number 9. And the reason why I got George number 9 because everybody had Tiafimo on their pound for pound list. They had Lomachenko on their pound for pound list. So I thought it'd only be right to add Cambosos, the fact that he beat the guy who beat the guy. So I do have Cambosos number 9. And this list can still change because, like I said, when I drop the list, it's gonna be like a video. It's gonna be a little bit more. It ain't gonna be a live. It's gonna be a video, and I'm showing highlights and good shit like that. So, be prepared for that. But on the list so far, I got David Benavidez as number 10. I got George Cambosos as number 9. And I was explaining I got George Cambosos as number 9 because he beat the man who beat the man. And Tiafimo and Lomachenko was on everybody pound for pound list. So if Cambosos beat Tiafimo in the fashion that he did, you gotta have him on your list, in my opinion. How y'all feel about that? You think Cambosos should be on the list? You think David Benavidez should be on the list? Because that's my 10 and my 9. Drop a like, make sure you subscribe. Who do y'all feel should be on the list? 10 and 9. That's what we on right now. Like I said, this list can change still. This is just my list so far. And I want to hear y'all opinions. I want to hear who y'all got on the list and why y'all got them on there. You know what I mean? I want to start messing with the sound bites and shit too. I'm gonna start doing that. Probably started with my own songs, so I don't get copywritten. Yeah, I think Camboso should be there. I'm not sure about Benavidez. Benavidez should fight Charlo or Plant to prove. Okay, but you got to remember he did beat Darrell, dominated him. He did beat Ellis, dominated him. Ellis, the same dude who Canelo uses as a sparring partner. You know what I mean? And he stopped these guys. He not only beat him, he stopped them in a very entertaining, skillfully fashion. And he also just stopped the dude he fought, which was a good fighter, was training with Terrence Crawford. So I take all that into accountability. I think David Benavidez has been proving himself, and he been asking for those fights for the Plants and the Charlos. And for me, I gotta pay attention to the guys who's hungry for the fights, who's hungry to fight the top guys and willing to sign them contracts. You know what I mean? That's a big part of my pound for pound list. The people who want to fight versus the people who's going, nah, I don't want to fight him. I'll fight him. I don't want to fight. You know what I mean? Fight whoever they put in front of you. You know what I mean? And that's what I see from Benavidez, and he winning. So, you got to give him his credit. He got a lot of skill. I think he dominates Caleb Plant. He's way longer than Canelo. He's younger. He probably a little faster, and he's strong. I think he dominates Caleb Plant. I think Caleb Plant know better than to fight that dude. I think he would rather fight Charlo than David Benavidez, in my opinion. My fault. I'm trying to look for some sound bites. I gotta start getting this shit together. Y'all tell me what I should add to the channel too to make it more entertaining for you to watch. So far, like I said, we got Benavidez, Cambosos, number 9. You say you don't think Benavidez, you think that's a little iffy, but I'm telling you why I feel like he should be on there. What you think? You know what I mean? All right, everybody got a different criteria P for P. Yeah, yeah. Yep, yep. Everybody do. And that's why it is a very hypothetical thing. Like it ain't nothing that's like factual. You know what I mean? It's very opinionated. But I feel like, boxing should be like any other sport where you get the best fighting the best. Just like where in basketball, you got the fucking championship. The best teams is playing the best team. You got the Super Bowl in football. So, we need more of those type of fights for boxing to become what it used to be and even bigger. I think boxing got the potential to be the biggest sport, the best sport. Who don't like to see a fight? But people want to see a two-sided fight. Okay. So I'm gonna move down my list. Number 8, I got Fulton. I got Fulton number 8, and that's because he pulled it off against Figueroa, which was a super close fight. And this is the type of shit that I'm saying. Like this is exactly the type he can't you can't look spectacular against a person like Figueroa. You can't look like you're extra good against a person like Figueroa cuz he's extra good. Cuz he's super raw. You know what I mean? And that's what happens when you get a fight between two people who's supposed to be fighting versus a one-sided fight. You get a great fight where you like this is hard to score. I don't know who won. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's the type of fights we looking for. These are the type of fights you get remembered for. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I put Fulton on my list. And I think he's going to be on a lot of other people's lists later in his career. Um, yeah, he did that, very close fight, type of fights we looking for in boxing. Nail biting fights. That's what we want. And he did what he had to do. So I threw him on the list. So we got David Benavidez for 10 right now. Like I said, this list can still be changed. David Benavidez 10, Camboso's 9, and Fulton number 8. I know that my list might not seem like a lot of lists, like top ranked lists, and in the zone, whoever list that they put out, because I got a different eye for it, and I know that they have a agenda behind their list. They have a plan that they trying to push when they put their list out. Me, I can't put a plan now. I don't got that type of reach. So I just my list is more on what I see versus what I'm told. You know what I mean? Versus what the world is saying and all this shit. You feel me? So Benavidez 10, Camboso's 9, and Fulton 8. Yeah, your list is so far respectful for your criteria. Feel me? Feel me? Um, it's kind of like Camboso's even the guy who trying to fight everybody. So at the end of the day, you go see that my list got a lot of the people who is really pushing the line for the fights, really trying to make the fights happen. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and like I said, this list it will be probably changed a little bit. Some people might move up, some people might move down. I wrote this list maybe a week or two ago. So, yeah. And we still gotta watch Lomachenko tomorrow. So we gotta see the type of performance he put on to see if he even make it on my list. But okay. So we got 10 Benavidez, 9 Cambosos, 8 Fulton. Now number 7. And this a person people might disagree with me on, but I just be seeing so much out of this dude. I think he very underrated. I'm gonna have to give it to Boots. I think Boots is number 7. And it's hard for me because I feel like I want him and Virgil Ortiz to fight each other so bad. So they can kind of one of them got to show who's better. And it ain't go prove it. They ain't go prove it fighting other people. I think that they trying to build them two up, both young guys coming up. I think that Boots should fight Ortiz. I've been saying that because I want to see who better. Ortiz is very talented too, and he probably would be on my list if he had a few more wins on his record. He'd probably be on my list. Yeah, Boots is that man, future king at 147. Man, he's so fucking big. You know, it's hard to get like Spence. You know, it's hard to get past that size and that solidness and the skill. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got him number 7 on my list, and that's only because he upcoming. You know, one day he might be number 1 on my list. You never know. But so 10 Benavidez, 9 Cambosos, 8 Fulton, 7 Boots, and then number 6, I got Devin Haney. And I know a lot of people might disagree with that. But the reason why I got Devin Haney, because he was criticized. And I even questioned, you know, I said I never seen Devin Haney in the war. This is before the Gamboa fight. I said I never seen him in a war. I never seen Haney in no real danger. Versus Javante back then, I felt like I saw him in a dangerous situation and he worked his way up out of it. So with Haney, I was questioning that at this time. And then, you know, he fought Gamboa, easy fucking win. You know what I mean? Easy win. Oh yeah, he's for sure going to be conquer other weight classes too. Yeah, I think so too. But easy win against Gamboa, you know. Probably got the easiest win against him that anybody else got. So then he fought Linares. And I already know about Linares. See, that's what a lot of people they didn't know about Linares. They don't know Linares is a fucking beast. I watched him fight Lomachenko and drop it. He dropped Lomachenko right on his butt. So you know, I knew Linares was gonna give him a war. I knew Linares had power, and Linares was the fight that I was waiting for Devin Haney to see if his skill, if his grit can be just as good as his skill. And seeing him get hurt like that, and you know, and surviving 2 rounds. Yeah, a bunch of new fans don't know about Lenore. Yeah, and it's a lot of boxers that casual fans they don't know about because they casuals. They only hear about the people they see on other outlets, you know, around other entertainers. But when you a boxing fan, you know the people who threat. We knew Isaac Pitbull Cruz was a threat. If you really watching boxing, you hard to fight. It's trying to say my connection is unstable. I didn't know that. Okay, so when Haney fought Linares, that gave me like I'm like, all right, Haney, that boy. He survived being hurt. You know, and that's the see what people don't know. They go, "Oh, he was hurt. He don't got a chin." But I've seen all my favorite boxers be hurt before. So I'm looking for you to be hurt. But I'm looking for you to survive you being hurt. I want to see what you do in a dangerous situation cuz that's what it's all about. And that's what people don't understand. You know what I mean? Let me see how you work your way up out of that. And I think he did good. And I think he learned from it. You know what I mean? And then he just beat JoJo Diaz. So that's what definitely put him on the list. Cause I knew JoJo was gonna be a tough fight. JoJo got a lot of experience. He an Olympian, you know, and I think it's disrespectful for people like Rolly to sit there and act like Haney supposed to knock a guy like JoJo Diaz out. Like he just that easy to be knocked out and like he just there to be knocked out. You know what I mean? I want to see a Rolly fighting. I bet you Rolly would get his ass smoked, outboxed, just like he did by Martinez. You know what I mean? But anyway, and I give him a lot of credit for being the youngest guy, calling out for all the fights. You know, I give him a lot of credit for that. So that's why Haney number 6 on the list. So we got Benavidez 10, Cambosos 9, Fulton 8, 7 we got Boots, 6 we got Haney, and then number 5 I'm gonna have to put Shakur Stevenson. I have to put Stevenson higher than Haney as of right now, higher than a lot of people because he dominated Jamal Herring, and I think out of all of his performances, he probably had one, and it wasn't even a bad performance. It was just quote quote boring. So I mean, you got to give credit when it's due. This kid's been having pretty much perfect performances every fight. I mean, I think him and Lomachenko would be the perfect fight. I think Stevenson and Lomachenko or Stevenson and Valdez, that should happen 2022. I think that that should happen. But like I said, I got Stevenson number 5 because I haven't seen a bad performance from him yet. I haven't seen like a iffy performance, nothing like just straight fucking craftiness and perfection out of Shakur Stevenson. That's all I've been seeing. But I would like to see him in a dangerous fight, like with an Oscar Valdez and one of them type of fights, a Lomachenko. And I think he go really show what he got. I think he go really show what he got. Um, so 10 Benavidez, 9 Cambosos, 8 Fulton, 7 Boots, 6 Haney, 5 Stevenson, and then number 4, I got Josh Taylor on the list. And people might agree with me with this one. I got Josh Taylor, and that's because he won undisputed, of course. On top of that, he done beat some hell of a fighters. He beat Ramirez. He beat fucking Regis. He got some win. He earned them belts. You know what I mean? You can't argue. You can't argue that he earned them belts. You know what I'm saying? Josh Taylor definitely hell of a boxer. I think he should give Regis his rematch. And yeah, yep. Gotta put him on there. He got a lot of skill. I think he better than Lomachenko to me, in my opinion. Um, number 3, I'm gonna have to say Javante, just because gotta add Josh Taylor in there. Yeah, for sure. Taylor is a fucking dog. I think he underrated. I think he underrated. Taylor is a dog. Taylor a dog. Number 3, I got Tank, and that's because the impact on the sport that he got so young. You know what I mean? And so much fan appeal, so much energy in all of his fights. You can't deny somebody where only 2 opponents didn't get knocked out. You can't sit there and act like this man ain't fucking dogging everybody in boxing as far as sales, everything. So, I think that the old media, their pound for pound list is so bullshit. Like, how don't you got Tank on that list? How don't you got Earl Spence on that list? I don't know if they got, but how don't you? You know what I mean? And what these guys is doing, the people they fighting. You know, you can't take nothing away from Tank. He fought Santa Cruz, who is a dog, always been a dog, known for throwing the most punches in a fight out of anybody. He beat Mario Barrios, and then was just in a super close fight with Cruz. And that's what I'm saying. These are the type of fights we asking for. So now, at this point, guess what? The fans, we're not mad if he rematch Cruz or if he go fight Ryan Garcia. Or so you know what I'm saying? Because he fought that good fight with a good fighter, we don't mind the rematch. And that make it easier for both of them. Cause now they don't gotta go look for nobody. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, it's like that's the fights we asking for. Close fights. We want to see them close fights. We want to see who's more skillful, whose boxing is better, who's taking the least amount of punishment. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I got Tank number 3. You know what I mean? My number 2 is Earl Spence Jr. It's my number 2. And agree or disagree. The only reason why you haven't heard Canelo on this list or Oscar Valdez or fighters like that, because or even Tyson Fury, any of them type of fighters, because they all got a history of doing drugs. And me personally, I think they can be pound for pound on anybody else's list, and I won't disagree. But me, I'm not adding anybody who got a history of cheating on my list. You know what I mean? And not just me personally. You feel me? I don't care if anybody disagree or anything. I don't have an issue with that. I think everybody is entitled to their own opinion. You know what I mean? I just don't want to add anybody I feel like has a history of cheating. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have to put Earl Spence because he fought all the top welterweights, beat him, dominated him. The only person he really didn't dominate is Sean Porter. You know, Sean Porter, the only person that didn't let him bully him. Everybody else he dominated. Even when the odds were stacked against him. You know, I think Earl Spence is definitely one of them boys. You know what I mean? And I think that he don't get enough credit for sure. You feel me? As much hard fights he done been in and wars he done been in, you know, he fighting the top people, you know, whether it's for a belt or not, he done fought the top guys. And my number one, you know, I know you disagree, but you still my dog. I'm gonna have to say Terrence Crawford, man. That boy is a beast. He was undisputed. He did something nobody ever did to Sean Porter. Stopped him, even though I felt it was a little early. He still stopped him. Dropped him twice. Nobody ever did that either. Dropped him twice. So he was clearly defeated. You know what I mean? Like with Spence, it wasn't even like he was clearly defeated. It was like, you know, this still a close ass fight. With Crawford, it's like, damn, this nigga is clearly defeated, right? Like, yeah, exactly. And like I said in the comments, whatever, drop your pound for pound list, and it might help inspire mine because I'm gonna go check these guys out. You know what I mean? But I was even like, it was hard making this because I want Usyk on my list. I think Usyk deserved to be on the top 10. I just trying to figure out a spot to put him. You know, I would like to see him fight again. But the way he dominated Joshua, you can't ignore that. So you know, this shit is not easy to make. You know, because it's guys you want on there, but you know, like I said, it's not the official list yet, so things can change. Um, but yeah, I'm just saying with the performance that Crawford had, and I even said the same thing about Kell Brook. I don't give a fuck what nobody say that he broken and all that. Like people is fucking ridiculous because before the fight they were saying how Kell Brook can give Crawford trouble, and he went all this time with Spence and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So you know it kind of killed me when people do that because he got in there and got his ass whooped. He got in there and got stopped in 4 rounds. You know what I mean? And I just didn't understand how he don't get credit for that. You know what I mean? Um, but it is what it is because I've been seeing that's the thing with Crawford. He will never get credit for things he should get credit for, and that's the character he playing boxing. But you got to be able to read in between the lines and say, well, he calling out for all the fights. Well, he was in Earl Spence's face telling them, let's make it happen. Let's bet 1 million. You know what I mean? Earl Spence told him he wasn't gonna fight him. He was gonna fight Sean Porter because it was the easier route. So you know what I mean? Like you gotta be able to read in between the lines. You know, motherfuckers want to sit there and say, "Well, oh, he on the wrong side of the field." Guess what? Sean Porter was with PBC, so that excuse is over with. Even if Crawford was to stay, that excuse is over with because Sean Porter went over there and fought. So I don't understand. You know, it don't make no sense. I think PBC want that fight. I don't understand why they couldn't make it happen. But anyway, that's my pound for pound list. You know, it was good chopping it up with you. Make sure you leave your pound for pound list in the comments. And I'm out. Right on for jumping in, man. I'm gonna drop that list soon. So make sure you let me know what your list is.